Hello and welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today I'm going to be doing some work on my field maple forest. This group has featured in several other videos, and in the most recent one, I think it was sometime in the winter, when I went through and did some basic structural work, I also tied this piece of rope on the edge of the pot to pull this tree over into position. Now I'm just taking a look at it now and seeing whether that can come off, and for the time being I think I'll leave that in place because it's not biting in or anything, it's only a bit of rope, so I may as well leave that, and I'll probably cut that off in the autumn. A few of the leaves on this group have got a bit of sort of mildew on them. That's like a kind of white mould, and a few of these leaves have got mildew on them, which isn't a great sign. It's often a sign that the plant isn't super healthy, but it's come out okay in the spring, and over the last couple of weeks it's sent these long shoots out from a few of the major trunks, which is always a good sign. And I think now's a good time to come in and reduce the height of some of these. Obviously a field maple is the same family as a Japanese maple, so in terms of pruning, you can treat it very sort of similarly. And this shoot that's come up here, it's quite thick, it's strong. I don't want it to over thicken because it is starting up near the top of the tree. So that has to be reduced down. And I've got a nice pair of branches there, so I'll just cut it, leaving a short stump for dieback, the same as you would, on a Dishojo or anything like that. This isn't going to be a long video, this one, because, there's not really too much to show. It's a question of going in, just finding the longer leaders that are beginning to shoot up. And because it's a forest, I definitely need to keep it in check and sort of keep that overall height down. So if I allowed these to grow, these will just keep shooting up and up and up and up. And down the line, I'd then have to do some cutbacks or whatever I needed to do. So I don't want that to happen. They're interesting decisions sometimes because you think, well, I've got a nice branch there. Where do I go back to? You have to make these decisions, and for me, this planting was always about the sort of overall canopy. I like the view low down, looking through the forest, definitely. But I do also want it to have a fairly refined winter image, and it should work well for that. And if I keep cutting back, as I am doing here, over the next couple of years, it'll develop loads and loads of fine twigging, and it should actually have some pretty good taper as well at the top. These shoots are quite thick. The next branches will be thinner and thinner, as you all know how it works in bonsai by now. And it's good fun. I always say that when I'm working on these kinds of projects. It's great fun just getting your scissors, getting in there. You can't really make any big mistakes, especially on something like a field maple. They grow so vigorously, it'll always just send new stuff out. In fact, to a certain extent, the more you cut it back, the more it'll send out. I am just bearing in mind, as I'm working along, that overall shape. I think when I worked on it last year, I decided to kind of have it higher here and then lower on that side. It's not really very obvious as I look at it now. I'm just kind of going with the flow, really. that's looking much better. I really like these groups when you trim them down and prune them back and they begin to take that overall shape that you're looking for. You know, just think, I think they're great to work on. Any kind of group planting. Love them. As you'll most likely know, I'm quite prolific when it comes to my video output, but this is going to be the last video I make for a while. I'm taking a short break. I've got a few health things that I'm dealing with. Hopefully I can get those sorted and get back to bringing you videos in the near future. As always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.